Luke, you want to see a boat?
Yeah, dude, which boat?
Well, there's this boat, since we're in Norfolk, Virginia. It's 887 feet long. It's 45,000 long tons. It was commissioned 2 years after Pearl Harbor in 1943. Do you want to take a guess at what boat this is?
Is it Alabama?
No, dude. It's USS Wisconsin.
You're just stinky.
How nickel gets you a minute? Yeah, Commander, we got a report of a missing Nesselberry. One of the vessels somewhere.
The Harem is back again with another weekend adventure, this time traveling from gloomy Canton, Ohio, down to the east coast of Norfolk, Virginia. Finally, leaving Norfolk and ending their trip in historic Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The 1,077-mile journey will take us to the historic USS Wisconsin, or the Big Whiskey. We were lucky enough to explore below the deck and even got to see her decorated for the holidays. Leaving Norfolk, Virginia and the Big Whiskey, we drive 4 hours north to historic Gettysburg, where some of the bloodiest fighting took place in the American Civil War. But let's cut to the chase. Let's get to the main event of why we're here in Norfolk, Virginia. After driving quite literally all night, we finally arrive in Norfolk. Bewildered by the high winds and nearly freezing temperatures, we venture on to explore the historic city. With our Nesselberry strapped firmly to Luke, we recharge with some coffee and start a nice evening stroll at sunset. But unbeknownst to us, a surprise was waiting just around the corner.
So quick little update on what happened with the Christmas boat. Let's get into it. So when we came here to Norfolk, we were under the impression that the boat was a regular tour like North Carolina or Yorktown. We were very unaware that they did this Christmas extravaganza on the Wisconsin. So we get here, we see all these light decorations, we're like, oh, that looks cool. And apparently there's what they have Winterfest on the USS Wisconsin, which is from now until January. So all these lights, we decided to get in the drone, get some really cool shots, and we're like, all right, we need to go on this Christmas boat, because how many times can you go on a battleship that's decorated with Christmas lights, festive music, and holiday cheer and spirit? So we get our drone shots, we get up to the thing, and there's a security guard there, and he's like, hey, how you guys doing? We're like, we're good. We're here to see the Christmas boat. And he said they sold out. Original plans to go to Gettysburg tomorrow afternoon. Well, that got postponed. We're staying tomorrow night to see Christmas boat. We're gonna drive to Gettysburg at like 12 o'clock midnight, just so we can see Christmas boat. Because how many times have you been on a battleship decorated with Christmas attire? None. And we can say one. So we're staying to see Christmas boat because it's a necessity. So we'll see you on Christmas boat.
In all, the vessel decorated in such tantalizing attire, we get one last gaze at her before grabbing a beer, going back to the hotel, and watching some very well-needed anime. With the morning sun gently waking us up in our hotel room, we quickly get ready and start our day aboard the legendary USS Wisconsin.
So we're taking our first steps aboard the USS Wisconsin, the mighty PB-64. Reading some interesting facts about the boat. It was the first boat to launch the attack on the Persian Gulf War. I think the last shots fired throughout the main guns was like in the 90s, it's like 91 or something like that. So being aboard a battleship that's fairly fresh, it's going to be different, as we were with the North Carolina and the Yorktown and the Laffey. Those were like 40s and that was it.
Being so up close to everything, you get a real scale of the size of these great ships. Peering over the bow, we see her in full glory, armed to the teeth with her 9 16-inch, 406mm Mark 7 guns. The Wisconsin was surely no small matter out at sea.
We're in the area called the flag bag, is what they call it. They said it's a huge reminder of how old the ship actually is, because this is exactly how it was back in World War II, or in 1944, when the ship was actually commissioned. Boat. Doing some exploring. Right now we are on the signal and bridge deck, as you can tell. Or you really can't, because you don't decide. We're sitting on the signal and bridge deck, making our way slowly up to USS Wisconsin. Head over to the other side to see if we can get into the bridge. As we're walking through the ship, you get these whiffs of like shit. I don't know how to describe it. It smells old, but it doesn't smell like musty. But it reminds you of that you're on a naval vessel that's really old.
With the upper deck tour coming to a close, it was time to venture below. But before we headed down, we all got the feeling that perhaps, maybe we were, missing someone.
Yeah, Commander, we got a report of a missing Nesselberry on the vessel somewhere. Yeah, Minami Katori. Yeah, just be on the lookout. She's armed and dangerous. Alright, thank you. That's one of the best shots I've ever taken. All right, we've seen the upper deck. Upper deck is bussin'. Let's go below deck to see what the Wisconsin has to offer. We were getting scared at first because we didn't think they would allow us to below deck, but it looks promising so far.
Time for my least favorite part, going down the stairs.
Getting the opportunity to go below deck is always something to admire. You get a feel for how these sailors slept, lived, and what their daily routines might have been like. Curious by just about everything, we continue to explore the guts of the big Wisky.
So I think one of the coolest things about this boat so far is the fact that the original plumbing works. Drain. Picture myself being a sailor and going to the latrine here.
That's a pretty funny sight.
I know, it's a good one. Like the old Grinch in the mess hall, it's amazing. I can picture myself like just munching here. Trail 15 is not bad.
Oh, I know what's wrong. Here, look out.
To the left. Up. Wait, back, up. Down a little bit. Down.
Oh, wait. What if there was like a Easter egg where if you got the cables right, and you actually got like information?
Apparently there's a whole bunch of live cameras set up throughout the boat, which we're in the giant room where you can monitor it all. And just looking at all the places where we put Katori makes me giggle because people might have seen what we were doing the entire time. Contribution. Let's get it.
What a nice tape. I want to hear it drop.
100. An airplane.
How far it goes.
Damn it. Oh. Bottom level. Look, I heard the farther you get it down, the better luck you have. That's probably a terrible luck. That's why Luke is gonna have the best luck ever. How much money do you think is actually down there? Because I see a couple fives.
A lot. There's more than people probably think. I'd say there's probably
At least 5.
at least 11.
Strap the bulkhead with a chain where they were stored.
Let's go in the big turret.
Stationary shelf flap.
God, this is crazy.
The ship at all times.
Like quit literally like climbing a ladder. Come on, Luke.
Associated with it. Lastly, the inner ring to notice that all the decks here are polished.
Before calling it a day, we get the opportunity to go inside the gigantic 16-inch guns, and this is one you surely don't want to pass up. If you needed any more of a reason to be in awe, this is the one to send you overboard. Finishing the daytime tour, it was time to recharge with some food, come back in a few hours for the moment we were all waiting for. Merry Christmas, everyone! It's time to finally step aboard the extremely festive and how jolly big Wisky.
We've made it for round 2 on the Wisconsin, this time at night with all the beautiful Christmas lights and the trippy as hell blue lights that are everywhere, just shrouding the deck of this boat. Whole different vibe. It doesn't feel like a wartime ship, it just feels like a Christmas exhibit, which is really weird, to be honest. On top of all the lights, they're also playing some odd Christmas choice music.
After a lovely tour of the bow, it was time to head towards the stern through Candy Cane Lane and into the magical pine forest. While aboard, staff were offering some extra hot beverages for both adults and children alike. After reaching the stern, we get ready for the Christmas tree ceremony, but to our surprise, a certain someone showed up to spoil the Christmas cheer.
Alright, folks. We're gonna light up this tree. Come on in, people. Get in close. Gather around the tree. The closer you all get, the bigger I look. Come on in, people. Alright, we're gonna count down from 10. I need everybody to help counting, especially you. 10, 9, 8. Hold on. That guy's not counting. We need everybody.
Just kind of
Here we go,
based.
folks. Wait for me. Wait for me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. Where are we? What's happening? 6. I think we're in. Right. Here we go. 6, 5. Everyone. 4. Louder. 3, 2, 1. Merry Christmas.
What a fitting end to a trip to see a giant boat with the Grinch yelling at children to light up a Christmas tree, forgetting how to count down to 8, then screaming at them again. Before the camera dies, I'd just like to say thank you guys for joining us on the trip to this boat at least. We'll see you guys in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. That's where we're heading next. And we got a lot of fun other boat trips planned, I know that for sure.
There's no boats in Gettysburg, sadly.
Yeah, but we got more on the way. So we'll see you guys in Gettysburg. The camera's about to die. Catch you on the Jiffy.
It was now time to say goodbye to Norfolk, Virginia, a lovely little city that's teeming in history with every step you take. After another long night driving, we finally find ourselves in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. While exploring the streets, we stumble upon a familiar sounding house. Riddled with over 172 bullet holes, the Farnsworth House sits with some of its past tenants who, some say, never left to this day. Walking along the road, we enter our first battlefield. Just across the street from the Gettysburg National Cemetery, we gaze just over the ridge at Culp's Hill. You never really truly realize the scale of a battlefield until you're standing right where those very soldiers fought however many years ago. Upon further investigation, we stumble upon a more modern tragedy in the town of Gettysburg.
Just a quick PSA, if you needed any more of a reason not to drink and drive, shit like that happens where you burn down historical buildings. So don't drink and drive, assholes. Finally made it to the city of Gettysburg. And we've just been vibing around, checking out historic sites. We checked out the Farnsworth house because Luke is, of course, a Farnsworth. Luke actually knows a lot of the history about it.
I think it was pre-Civil War and it was used as like a medical outpost for the Battle of Gettysburg.
And finally, on our last leg of the trip, we find ourselves at the historic Little Round Top in Devil's Den. Here, some extremely rough fighting took place, along with one of the most historic photographs of the entire Civil War.
You can like see rocks that are still there. Piss off. I think that wall was probably, might have been rebuilt though.
No, the wall looks like it collapsed.
Yeah, the wall's been rebuilt.
Yeah, the old wall definitely collapsed. Those are all the old rocks.
Probably here. Looks like the ground was like higher up too. Probably wasn't eroded. Yeah.
Watch your step, Kippy. Where are you going? Oh shit, it's slippery.
Oh.
It's a bit slickery, tippers.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little more slick with one hand, huh?
You like me to grab camera?
Yes.
Oh shit, I gotta get up.
I died.
And on this day, Tip died.
On this day, Tippy died. So we've made it to essentially our final stop on the trip. We're at Devil's Den, and right behind me is Little Round Top, where some horrific fighting happened during the Civil War. The cool thing, well, I wouldn't say cool, but an interesting thing about Devil's Den is there's a sniper's nest there, and the wall that the sniper was on is still there, and you can see where he was like laid because they put a picture out, so you can kind of see where he was, and you can almost stand in the exact location as the fallen soldier. An interesting thing to see when you come up here, albeit very sad. Let's say that concludes our trip to the Wisconsin and to Gettysburg. So hope you guys enjoyed. We got a long drive home, about 5 hours, so we'll see you on the road. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, and leave a like.
And with that, our weekend of adventure comes to a close. With a long drive home and multiple traffic jams, we arrive home, patiently awaiting our next excursion.